Rockwall traffic, 9 Romeo Victor's departing 17 Rockwall. All right, I'm looking at the wind. I don't see a lot of crosswind. Maybe a little, we'll play with it. Okay, my feet are off the brakes. Full power. We have to sing the Air Force song at this point. I pull the stick back a little bit just because I want to fly a wheelie down the runway. There we go, fly our little wheelie. Not too much of a wheelie, just a little wheelie. Oh, she wanted to fly, okay.
That is awesome.
Time off, about 5 till. Why don't we go ahead and do a dead stick landing? I'll show you one of those first. Just to make you feel comfortable, we can get back to the ground.
That is so, look at that American flag. That must have been a good input for y'all, for pilots.
Yep. This is beautiful.
Nose traffic, 52 Alpha is downwind for runway 17, nose traffic.
Rockwall traffic, 90 Romeo Victor's downwind, 17 Rockwall. Okay, we're going to get up to 1,500 feet. That's our pattern altitude. We're going to start chopping off some power because we got to get down, we got to stay below 100 miles per hour. We're going to drop 1 notch of flaps, 2 notch, it's going to take a little power, 3 notch, and I'm looking down there, see those white stripes and that number?
Yep.
I want to land between those.
Okay.
That's my goal. So I'm at speed, I'm at about 90 now.
Nose traffic left base for 52 Alpha.
What's that?
Do you want to lift that back up?
Oh, no, leave that log all the time. Yep. Okay, I'm looking at that, I'm going, okay, oh gosh, no. Oh no, we've lost our motor. What shall we do? 90 Victor's final, 17 Rockwall, touch and go. Oh, I'm in such a panic.
52 Alpha is on final.
I don't know what to do.
For 17?
We've lost our motor. What did he say? Traffic 17, say again. Rockwall, 9 Romeo Victor's turning final, 17 simulated engine out, touch and go. You see what a panic it is though? It's terrifying, isn't it?
I mean, yeah.
Just absolutely terrifying. I mean, you've got so long to be terrified. We're actually too high. So, I will line up on the runway. Look at that, the airplane's flying. I wonder how that happens. Actually, I'm not going to slip much because we got a lot of headwind and it's slowing down our approach. But that's okay. I'm not going to try to make the airplane fly farther than it wants to. I'm going to nose down. And if we don't hit exactly on the numbers, you know what? It doesn't matter. Yep, look, that headwind messed me up a little bit. I'm normally a little closer than this. All right, flaps up. Keep flying the wheelie. Power on. Let her go when she wants to go. Oh, we bumped.
Catamount traffic,
That's it.
plane 3 southeast, 2,300 feet, maneuvering inbound left downwind 18, Cato.
That's an engine out landing. Absolutely terrifying, wasn't it?
So what does that flap do when you're going up and down off that flap?
Oh yeah. Like when you stepped in, that piece that was bent down, when they're 3 clicks down, that's what it looked like on the ground.
Okay.
Now look at it now when they're all the way up.
Flat.
They're flat, exactly.
All right.
So the airplane flies at a higher pitch and can fly a little slower with the flaps down. So I do that for the landings. Let's go do some sightseeing.
Catamount traffic, jump plane left downwind 18, Cato.
It's going to be a little hot down here down low. This is why I like doing first thing in the morning.
Oh yeah, that would probably
cooler.
be nice. Especially this morning.
Yeah, yeah. Morning's much nicer. And by the evening, there you go, thermals. The ground heats up.
Yeah.
And like over a big piece of concrete, the thermal air will go up.
Yeah.
Then by the grass next to it, the thermal goes down. To us, that feels like.
Yeah,
I'm
in AP Environmental Science, and we learn all about the.
Oh yeah.
Heating and.
Catamount traffic, jump plane left base 18,
Very
Cato.
cool. All right, there, we're high enough. I'm going to fly around so you obviously recognize the harbor.
Oh yeah.
We'll just stay down here at about 1,000 feet and buzz it once or twice. I'm slowing down just because we don't need to be in a race. We're looking at stuff.
Traffic jump plane final 18,
I don't see any other airplanes in our area. Good. Look at all the boats. Yeah, and when I squeeze this trigger, that's what talks on the radio.
Which one?
The trigger.
Okay.
There. Okay, so let's see. Now your apartment is right next to the Hilton, right?
Yeah, so there's the Hilton, and then there's the lowest one by the lake. Our apartment's like, I tell Kimberly to get out of her house.
Yeah. Oh, is she around?
Yeah, she's at the house.
Oh, yeah. Well, here. We'll buzz by it a couple of times then. No airplanes around. We're good. We'll swing around and give her a moment. Have you already tried to call her or text her?
Yeah, I called her and then I texted her.
We'll turn out over here over the lake and come back. The harbor's always cool to look at.
Kimberly said I had to get a picture with us in the cockpit.
Oh yeah? Okay.
Rockwell 507 Alpha Fox is
There you go.
in the vicinity at 1,400. Rockwell.
I think I just saw you.
We're going to be hard to miss. She'd be right there?
Oh yeah. There's no way she doesn't.
And let's see, you're still going to Rockwall High.
Heath.
Or Heath High, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, so down this road and then
yep.
Yeah.
There it is, I think I see it.
4 miles northwest, inbound for a straight in for 17.
Oh yeah, I see it.
It's a big campus.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Let's take a quick swig. I always tell people this is the best low-price vodka you can buy. That makes them comfortable too. So what do you think so far?
Oh, I love it.
Awesome. That's the best sign. I used to work a lot with a company. In fact, TK knows it very well. We worked together on arming these little crop dusters. And talked to a dude who runs a crop duster school, where he'll basically, like, if your kid wants to do it, and they'll give like a tuition free, you know, put them through the training. They'll owe debt to the school, but they'll pay it off because they'll get a good paying job as a crop duster. But he doesn't even have to touch the stick. He takes them up and actually does a crop dusting run. And if they land and they're like on cloud 9, there we are, we're there, aren't we?
Yeah.
If they land and they're on cloud 9 and they loved it and they're like, oh my God, can't wait to do that again. He's like, I can teach you how to fly. This is not a tough thing. But he said if they land and they puke and they look around and they go, God, I never want to do that again. It's like, well, there's your answer.
Yeah, this is... Roller coasters really aren't my thing, but this is, I love this.
Tell you what, we'll head out toward the Lake Tawakoni. Anything else you want to buzz around here?
No, I'm good to go wherever.
Jones traffic 52 Alpha is left crosswind for runway 17, Jones traffic. Yeah, Jones,
I'm going to play with this for 1 second. There's nobody around us. Correct. Go to...
5 miles east, going to be entering the left and field downwind for runway.
I'm going to have to change. I'm going to have to replace my GPS. That's all right. It's old and tired. It needs to be replaced. Okay, I'm going to climb up a bit, and this is probably, if you want to, why don't you go ahead and grab the stick, and I'll just go kind of level, and a little bit of a climb is fine.
Okay.
I eventually want to go another 1,000 feet up, about 3,000, and we'll do some aerobatics.
What are we at right now?
That's 2,200. So it's like the little hand, when it points at the 3, so that the big hand's got to go all the way around. That'll be 3,000.
Okay. Like a clock.
You know, and I didn't even really notice it, but normally I pull my heading off of that. We're going east. I'm so used to having my GPS. Yeah, which is fine. Just anywhere in this heading. Pretty soon, oh, you can see it over there. There's Lake Tawakoni. Head that way. See the big body of water?
Oh, yeah.
Right at the horizon. And I'll give you some power to keep climbing.
It's sensitive.
It is, isn't it?
Is that like every plane?
No, like you'll find, and I hate doing this on tape because someone will hear me and they think I'm insulting them. And the best thing to control pitch, like now we're getting a little slow, pick a part on the nose and put the nose just below the horizon. There you go, that's perfect. And then if you see it disappearing too much, so now, and we're doing okay. In fact, we're at 3,000, so we're good. You're doing good. You're doing nice and steady. But no, like a Cessna or a Piper, like a trainer, they're much heavier, much more sluggish.
Yeah.
And you know, new pilots love that because it doesn't, you know, doesn't show off their mistakes.
Jones traffic 52 Alpha is base for runway 17, Jones traffic.
I love how sensitive this little girl is.
Got a mill traffic. Bonanza 3 and 1.
What'd you fly? What'd you used to fly?
F-15s.
1,000.
Well, are those sensitive?
You know, yes and no. I'll go ahead and turn left just a bit. We'll head over to that guy over there.
Jones traffic.
Bonanza 3 traffic.
They really weren't. It was really a rock-solid airplane, just like amazingly solid. But by the other token, when you hefted on the stick, it responded immediately. So kind of yes and no is very forgiving. It was the first airplane I'd ever flown where you could put it in almost any attitude and just let go of the stick and it would just keep, you know, fly like an arrow.
Rocky traffic, so 35546, east side of the lake.
But yeah, if you'd stir the stick, it would do things. It didn't ignore any of your inputs. Kind of like this one. I'll tell you what, we don't have to go all the way there. You want to try to loop?
Yeah.
Let's just do a roll. We'll just do a simple roll. So what I'm going to do, we're starting at 4,000 feet, kind of heading toward the lake. I'm going to let this go up to where the 140 is. You see that inner dial right there under my finger, that's 140. We want about 140. What I'll do is I'll pull up to where you're going to go, oh my God, the nose is real high. Yeah, we're going to get about 45 degrees high. And then I'm just going to do a nice gentle barrel roll.
Okay.
Do you have a preference, right or left?
Up to you.
All right. Dealer's choice. I'm losing a little altitude because I want to get to 140 user. There we go. That's fine. Okay, there's 140. We're going to go to the right. So, looking around for airplanes. Nothing. Did a clearing turn earlier. Okay, there's 140 coming up. So pitch the nose up. Keep the power on. About there. And...
Holy cow. That was awesome.
Different, huh?
Oh yeah. It's way more smooth than the roller coaster. You're just kind of
yeah, isn't it beautiful? All right, but now the airplane's all wound up, so we got to go to the left and unwind her. So up, about there, and around. And I'm trying to keep half a G on the airplane all the way around.
That was awesome.
Fun?
Oh yeah.
Okay, we've been up 10 minutes, so I'm switching fuel tanks real quick.
But, okay.
Yep, this little knob right there goes left or right. Oh, and that trim tab I showed you, that's this knob right here.
Okay.
We'll never touch it because this airplane just flies so straight. I think we need one more because we're already doing 140. It's just
Traffic, Van 35 Victor, back taxi 17.
one more quick look. Oh, that's ducked a little bit, didn't it? Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, up. About there and around. Fun?
Oh yeah.
All right, I'll tell you what. I've got it down about 110. We got all kinds of altitude. Your airplane. You can fly around, play with it. It's up to you which hand you want to use. Most people fly right-handed.
Okay.
The way this airplane is, I have to learn to fly left-handed. I had to do that. The first few flights, I was like, I've never flown to my left hand before.
Are you righty?
I'm a righty.
Okay.
And an F-15, it's your right-hand stick. But you know what's amazing? The human brain, it just, it rewires itself, and I don't even think about it anymore.
So like if I stepped on that.
Yeah, go ahead. Here, go ahead and step on the rudder, and you're going to feel the airplane. Yep, it yaws that way. It also lifts the wing, so it makes us turn a little bit. And then go the other way, and you're going to find it lifts the other wing and makes us turn. That's not how you turn an airplane, but that is what it's doing. So in fact, my airplane for just a minute, and I'm going to get us a little bit lower so you can actually sight see some. So that's kind of a good thing to talk about. So when you do controlled turns, so when I start cranking on the stick to turn, that wing on the outside is creating more lift. It's also creating more drag. So it's going to try to kick the nose over. So you kind of just become second nature that when you do a turn, I'll turn the aileron, also step on the inside rudder just a little bit. And there's a ball right there that's between two lines that I'm trying to kind of keep centered. And that's a controlled turn.
Okay.
Airplanes are super honest. As long as you fly them in a controlled flight, they don't do anything scary. In fact, let's do a stall. So you've probably never, have you ever heard of a stall?
Kind of. Yeah.
They sound terrifying. We're going to start at 4,000 feet. They're not. All it's going to be is we're going to keep slowing down, and when we get down a little bit below 60, about 55, the airplane's going to stop flying. And when it stops flying, the nose is going to break and drop forward. That's part of the design. I'm going to be on the rudders the whole time, making sure that we're not getting uncontrolled. Okay, there's 65. In fact, this is kind of fun. I can add some power. We can fly here all day long, and it doesn't take a whole lot of power. And that's the thing about learning your airplane. And so like right now, instead of using the aileron to move the wings, I'll largely use the rudders. But now let's go ahead and pull the power and let's let her stall. So plenty of altitude, nobody's around us. Okay, I mean, mushy, that was a stall.
Okay.
That little bitty break. And so you learn, as you learn to fly, the stall, little nose forward, add power. And we're flying again. We didn't lose 100 feet. So let's get back up to 4,000. We'll do one more here at 48. But you're going to see that, you know, it's really not terrifying. The only thing terrifying is if you let the airplane stall when it's got a lot of yaw on it and it's not coordinated flight. Okay, you feel it, and there it goes. That's a stall. That's as bad as it gets. But what people will do, where more people have died than anything, is approach in turn to the runway to land, and they turn and get uncoordinated and let the airplane start sliding or skidding, and it's uncoordinated, and then you stall. And now you've got an airplane that's turning and stalling, and it goes into a spin. You can get out of a spin, and I'm not going to spin you in this one right now, but it's really not nearly as terrifying as you think. The airplane does this like roll, and you little general nose forward, opposite rudder, it comes right out of it. But as long as you don't have the airplane uncoordinated, it's not going to spin. I'll show you another thing. So one thing we might do on landing, in fact, I was almost ready to do it with you on the dead stick, but then I realized the headwind was, I hadn't factored that in adequately, is if we're power off and we're needing to get land, but I don't want to lose a lot of my airspeed, I'll intentionally do something called a slip. So I'll drop let's drop the left wing and I'll put in right rudder. And you feel how the airplane's doing this?
Yeah.
We're going to drop like a rock, but we're keeping exactly 100, we're keeping 100 miles per hour. But we're dropping like a rock.
Yeah.
That's a perfectly safe maneuver. It terrifies people, but we're never ever out of, the airplane's never in a condition where you're having adverse yaw. You're going into anything that could cause a spin. And the bad thing is the people hurt themselves because A, they don't know how to get out of a spin, but B, they don't keep themselves out of getting into a spin. You do it at the approach end when you're that low. It's going to be tough to recover. And if you don't know how to recover, it's like you don't immediately respond, then that's a bad place. But when you learn how to fly, it's like a good instructor will just hammer that into you. If they see you getting slow and uncoordinated in the pattern,
yeah,
they'll beat you about the head and shoulders. Okay, I'll tell you what. I'm taking over the stick from you, and I don't mean to do that. Your airplane. We can get down to about 1,500 feet if you want. If you want to put the nose down, I'll pull the power off, and we can buzz some of these fun boats and lake houses. You ever go to Tawakoni very often?
I've been over here probably a handful of times.
See, there's an airplane about 2,000 feet above us. He's going to cross behind us. He's way back there. He's no factor. You have? Yeah.
Yeah. I've gone fishing on it. COVID hit. We got quarantined because of my hockey team. Out here and fished.
Oh, that's awesome. That's cool. We survived Snowmageddon out here because our house had no power for 9 days and we had no water, and so we rented a little fishing cabin. Stayed there.
Nice. Was it nice?
Oh yeah. It had electricity and hot water. That was the nicest part. Yeah, it was all right though. Yeah, feel free to maneuver around and do a turn or whatever you want to do. I will. I'll tell you what. That's probably a good altitude to stay at now. You see those birds? Oh shit! Hang on, my bird. Okay. I was going to tell you what he just did. A bird's instinct will be whenever, and you can keep flying. When a bird sees an airplane, they get scared. They'll tuck and dive. So anytime you're flying around a bird, you want to be over them, and you watch them tuck and dive. But he started looking at us and then tucking and diving toward us. They can be counted on to do that. You're very smooth. You're doing good. Okay, let me take it for just a second. And it's okay, you're doing fine.
So what I do?
You were just getting a little tight, given the word low, and I mean, I think you were being perfectly smooth. Go ahead, you got it.
So like I came here, I went to turn.
Yeah. Oh, is it feeling like it's tucking in on you? And then the nose dropped.
Okay.
That's what's happening. And oh, here. Yeah, let me show you here. In fact, this is a great lesson. Okay, my airplane for a second. What happens in this, I don't know that this is necessarily what you're doing, or maybe you're just, you're really smooth, so you may be a little aggressive for the first time, and that's cool. What a new pilot will do a lot is they'll start a turn, and then they let the nose drop. And then they don't like the fact that the nose is dropping, so they'll start tightening the turn. Okay. And then the nose drops some more. Then they tighten the turn, and that's called a graveyard spin.
Okay.
And then you hit the ground. And so the trick is to learn that although I'm in a bank and I'm losing altitude, I don't tighten the turn to gain altitude. I let off the turn and pull the nose up a little bit.
Okay.
So, that's probably just a good thing to, but your instinct is to pull back.
Yeah.
Because the ground's getting big. And that causes you actually start tightening that spiral. Okay. Your airplane. Keep it about 1,500, so it's about as low as we want to go, and you're good. And you can buzz any part of this you want.
This is actually...
I'll get it up to 2,000 feet. That's a good thing for you probably is to kind of feel what it's like, is get to an altitude and pick an airspeed, 110 is fine, and learn how to go into a gentle turn and keep the nose, try to go all the way around and keep the nose right on the horizon. Because one of the easiest things to do is to kind of lose track of that and let the nose dip or let the nose climb.
Mineola wise, there's traffic. Well, that's number 507 on Park side going around, and traffic in the air, be advised, experience wind shear about 400 feet above final there.
Okay, he is above us. Above us right about now. Where is he? Some turns, if you're cool with that.
My body feels
Oh, what's that?
my body just feels weird right now.
Oh, okay. You want to chill?
Viper 507 Alpha Foxtrot's left downwind runway 17.
If,
Space for 18.
why don't we start heading toward back?
Okay.
And we can always do this again. And by the way, I always laugh. I'm like, there are those people who have got sick in airplanes and those people who will.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
I don't even, it doesn't like feel sick, it just my body feels like weak in a way. I don't know. Like,
Yep. Yep, that can happen. We'll just keep it smooth. Even when I was, people are too noisy. Even when I was flying professionally, when I'd come back from I flew a lot in Europe, so when I'd come back on vacation, I'd flown for 4 to 6 weeks. I mean, I'd have an AirSec bag right here in my G suit for that first flight, because
why is that?
it takes acclimation. You know, when you fly all the time, it doesn't bother you at all, but, you know, I always laughed at arrogant people. I've never got sick in an airplane. It's like, well, then you haven't pushed yourself in an airplane, because it's a natural response.
Yeah.
I would say, you know, feeling sick does not mean you don't like flying. Kind of pretty out here.
Oh yeah.
Is it better when we're just being smooth?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like when you're like super hungry.
Yes.
Yeah,
yep,
that's
the feeling. And you're flying with one of the worst guys around to make you feel like that, because as you've seen, I kind of maneuver the airplane around. The first guy I did flying lessons with, and I loved him to death, Earl Smith. What a grumpy old man. He had flown P-51s in World War II. And he always had the deal. He's like, you fly the airplane. You know, you don't let the airplane fly you.
Yeah.
And at first I didn't like his attitude, because I was like, well, you don't try to force the airplane to do things it doesn't want to do. But he was right. You're flying the airplane. You know, it's not going to figure out what you want it to do. Yeah, and the other thing is, it is bumpy. This is welcome to summertime, or almost summertime in Texas.
Always bumpy.
The afternoons and evenings. And it's because the ground's had all that time to heat up,
Yeah.
you know, asymmetrically. And you can almost, I mean, I guess if your brain were fast enough, you'd be able to look ahead and go, yep, there's a parking lot, there's a tree line, we're going to feel a bump right there. But you're passing over those non-stop, so let's slow down a little bit. I was just looking ahead to see very many airplanes in patterns. One in the pattern, two. Oh no, the second one's real high. One in the pattern, okay. Those little rings, the white rings,
Yeah.
5 miles, 10 miles, 25 miles. So I could look and go, we're coming up on 10 miles, about 12 miles from the airport right now. That green ring is kind of cool. That's where we could glide to.
Okay.
Right now we could glide to any spot within that green ring. Like right now, if we lost the engine, I mean, I'm looking around and going, there are so many, there's a big, beautiful green field out there. There's a really nice one here, a little bit shorter, you know, and I would not try to fight to make it to an airport. Heck, that's a runway right there. You see the strip with the little circle, concrete circle?
Yeah.
That's a runway. We could land there in a heartbeat. And instead of trying to stretch it to make it to a nicer runway farther away, we'd just spiral down to that runway. I'd much rather have a, you know, a good place that's easy to get to versus a great place that you can't reach. Yeah, it's funny when you look around and realize that's a runway. Holy cow. What is that place? It's right, it's 18TX, whatever that is. It's a little private field for that little community.
What's it for?
And it's right there, 18TX.
Yeah.
So it says R. It means that it's a privately owned. Like, you can't just go in there and buzz. But it looked like those houses down there, they share that runway.
Okay.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
An air park community. That's just the sweetest thing ever. Since you're not feeling great, I will do a nice gentle entry to bound wind. We'll do a nice dead stick landing.
4507 Alpha Fox. Final 17 walk wall.
It's a little bit of a trick that when we get in close to the airfield, I'm going to drop down to a little bit below pattern altitude, which you would think sounds unsafe, but the reality is it's so much easier to see the other traffic in the pattern if you're co-altitude or below them. If we're looking down on them, it's hard to see them.
All right.
And then we'll stay in close to the runway, because if we lost a motor, which we never will. Oh, by the way, speaking of motor, it's been 10 minutes. I'll switch. Sorry about the bumpiness.
Very good.
If there was something I could do about it, I would. Okay, now I'm letting it slow down. Letting it slow down below 80, because we're on the runway. Go. Right there. And we are on terra firma. Now we've got to fly a wheelie. Why? Mainly because we look cool. But it also helps save the brakes, and it helps slow you down. But you also look cool. All right, that's my wheelie. I had no more speed to do it. So we're actually, flaps are up. A little air in. We're actually adding a little bit of power just to keep moving down the runway with that headwind. Driving down the runway.
Yeah. Thank you.
What's more air? Okay. Terra firma. You made it. Well, and you can look at the G meter. You pulled 2.5 positive and a little less than 1, about 3/4 of a G, so a little light in our pants.